Howdy, howdy, and welcome back to Gale FFTCG. I'm Serah, your host, and today it's the top 4 win cards by rarity for Opus 16. I am so excited for Wind this set. Wind has been good for a while, but I think this set takes Wind in a little bit of a different direction. I'm kind of here for that. So, without further ado, let's just fire right in. So, first of all, we have Chocobo Chick. Look at that cute little hair. I love the cute little hair. First, probably playable Chocobo Chick we've ever had, and it's super strong. 4 CP summon that we activate all the backups we control and just draw a card. So it's a storm enabler. It just keeps the storm chain going, and I really like that. If you pay the cost of Chocobo Chick with 3 or more different elements, all the forwards you control gain plus 2k until end of turn. Don't think that's really valuable, honestly, but you know, it might matter at some point. I think this card is super good. Again, it's just a storm enabler, and it just keeps our game plan going for that much longer. In our rare slot is a card I really think should be heroic, but honestly, I'm so glad it's a rare. It just makes it easier for players to get a hold of. I don't like it when a card is a necessity, but it's locked into the legend slot. I think that's a little unfair, and it means that people who are playing on any sort of budget really are just relegated to that budget and don't really have any good replacements. However, that being said, this is a 3 CP, 7k forward. Job White Mage, I don't think that will ever be relevant, but the art looks pretty and everything. FFBE, which is very important because it is definitely searchable. Fina cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities. That is already strong enough as it is. That's basically hexproof for magic, and that is a very strong keyword. Remove Fina in your hand from the game. You choose one auto ability triggered by a forward, and you cancel its effect. You can only use this ability if you control 4 or more wind backups, and if Fina is in your hand. So this is another hand trap, but unlike Yu-Gi-Oh! Where hand traps are rife at the moment, you have a restriction, and it's pretty much to play mono wind. You could maybe, I suppose, play this in like YRP or something where Yuna is your only water backup or something, but I think this card by itself is kind of geared towards mono wind, and I think that's a good place for it to stay. I think there is something that needs to be similar to Amaterasu, and I'm kind of glad it's in wind. I think wind, while it didn't have tons of removal, it got Typhon and some other good cards, and wind cards are very generally quite good. I think it also needs some sort of protection for what it wants to do as well. So I think this card's a good card, and I think it's a good step in the right direction. Up next, we have Atomos, and again, more storm cards, and we are so here for storm cards. So Atomos is a 2 CP monster, can become a 7k. It is category 5, which is searchable off of Sildra. That's always important to know what things are worth searching. During each turn, when you've cast the second card you've cast, you choose up to 2 backups and activate. And this is super strong. You play this, and then what you play is like, say, I don't know, an Ochu. You play an Ochu, you activate 2, and suddenly the Atomos also triggers and activates another 2. You're suddenly activating 4 for the price of 2. And it only works that one time, but my goodness, does it matter. I think these are the sort of things that Storm needs, even further turn extenders, things that are easy to pull off, and there's not a lot of monster breaking in this game, and honestly, I think this card is in a really well-protected spot, too. It's not just a card that's like, oh, this is a good card once, and my opponent destroys it. This card will give you lots of value over time, and I think that's really super important. Also on damage 3, you can make it a 7k forward, and when Atomos attacks, you activate all the backups you control. It's really strong, and that's until end of turn, so maybe you do need that extra swing, or you think you should attack and, you know, deal a point of damage when your opponent doesn't really have anything on the board after, like a big lock turn or something. This thing is also a good follow-up once you have that, or maybe you're halfway through a turn and you can't pull off the storm thing you need by the draw. You just make this thing a forward, you swing in, you activate all your stuff, and you just finish off your storm combo. A lot of cool things about this card, and I think this card is going to, while its floor seems really low, its skill ceiling is going to be even higher, and its deck building ceiling is going to be very high as well. And last but certainly not least, we have 5 CP Wall. The other Cecil that plays out a lot of cards I think is also really good. I think both of these are really good, but I wanted to highlight a card that's new and has just, interesting merits and implications for the game, rather than a card that we know is already generally going to be good. So 5 CP, 9k, Warrior of Dawn. He's a Mobius, so that is very cool. You can search that with Echo, and do like that quite a bit. The cost required to cast Wall is reduced by 1 for each character of cost 5 or more you control. It cannot become 0. The really fun thing about this, I think, is that you're in Wind. There's a lot of cool 5 drops in Wind. Obviously, you have Bismarck, you have Garuda. There's a lot of cool things. You could even be playing the new Cecil alongside this to play out something else. That's fun. But the other cool thing is it doesn't matter what element they are, and you could be playing something like Verstale and be getting Wall and stuff. It's really cool, and I really think this is just an awesome way to build this card and an awesome archetype to build around. The forwards of cost 5 or more other than Wall you get control gain. This forward cannot be chosen by your opponents, summons, or abilities. That's so strong. Giving hexproof to all of your big stuff is really cool, and I think it's a good way to go. Again, Wind is going in this protection route, and I think that's important for this game, especially right now because Brynhildr's and all these other things are just kind of going nuts. And also, as if all of these things were not good enough, when you cast a character of cost 5 or more, you get to draw a card. That's super strong. It means that even if you cast a Verstale and you go, cool, I'm going to cast Verstale, and my opponent is going to, they go to Amaterasu, you have still gained some value back because it's a cast. And that's so important, I think this card is just great. But yes, that is the end of our Wind video. Hope you've really been enjoying these top 4 cards by rarity. I obviously want to hear your views and what cards you're really excited about in the comments. Let me know if there's any decks you want to build or want to see built from these new cards, and what your kind of plans are for this next upcoming Opus, which is looking very exciting. It's shaping up to be a cool set. But yeah, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and do all those lovely things. It helps out the channel, helps me know what you guys want to see, and helps me put out better future content as well. But yeah, have a great day and a great rest of your week.